one one thing that they really want us to get experience with in this class is the idea of estimation and when is it helpful, when is it not. And so that's kind of what this question is getting at. So it's looking at these high temperatures, which by their coolest high temperature is 100 degrees, going all the way up to 134 degrees, which sounds awful. So the mean, which again, looking for the average of those high temperatures, um, you can't just do 100 3 times. You can't just do 104 3 times. You've got to choose a number that would represent that the best, and you want to be consistent. So we're choosing the perfect middle of all of those when we do this average. So I'm just going to go one by one in this list to help us kind of figure out how we would find the mean or the average. So the midpoint of 100 to 104 would be 102. 105 to 109 would be 107. 110 to 114 would be 112. And what am I need to use Google Sheets. I don't know why I'm acting like I don't need it. I'm going to open up a new tab for this. So again, looking at those midpoints, it looks like it's 102, then 107, and 112. Then 117, then 122, 127, and 132. If that was a little quick, um, an example, if I just did the last one, like 130 was the low end, then 131, 132, 133, 134. Um, and then the midpoint or the median of those is that one perfectly in the center. So that's where I got all those numbers, just by there's 5 across, and then the one perfectly in the middle is the one I chose. So from here, it looks like we've got a frequency. I'm just going to copy and paste that down. So we've got 3, 7, or 3, 8, 16, 13, 7, 2, and 1. And so when we want to find the average, we got to actually remember sum all these together. So um, I have 102 3 times. So if I wanted to, I could have done 102 again, 102 again, and then 107 8 times total. But that's just kind of dramatic, and I don't need to do all that. What I can do is I can just multiply across. I can just multiply. I don't think there's a multiply function. Oh, there is. So you can press equals multiply, and then again, Google Sheets, weirdly genius, knows that I want to multiply those together. I don't know how I feel about it. It's a little bit, I don't know. The AI stuff just is pretty wild in my opinion. Um, so I do that. I'm not gonna do this autofill. That would give me the answers. But just to display the equation one more time, you could say equals multiply. This is also not the only way to do it. Um, multiply, and then you want to just choose those cells. That cell is A3, which was 107, and B3, which was 8. So multiplying those together gives me that, and then I really wanted to autofill. Um, oh yeah, Danny, that's a good idea. Um, yeah, totally works. Could totally do that too. Because that midpoint, you're finding the average. Yep, that's great. Um, now I'm kicking myself for not putting the autofill, but it's basically doing it for me as I do this down. As I'm doing this, um, I mean, if there's a skill that you're gonna leave this class with, if you got better at Google Sheets and Excel, um, in my opinion, it just like really sets you apart from your colleagues if you're pretty savvy with this stuff, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Um, so these are the things that I now want to sum. So it says in number 3, add up all the products from step 2. I want to add those up together. So that sum, again, there's another function in Excel. And again, if I'm just having this in a calculator, it's not in this like nice, neat format. The sum equation, I think, is equals sum. And I would just pick that C2 is where it starts. I think since I split my screen. Yep, okay, C2, and then I want to go all the way to C8. Notice when I just press C, it has the whole column, and I want to cut it off at 8. It's going to add those all up for me. And then the actual average, I would want to divide by however many there were. So I should probably sum the frequency as well. So we sum that multiply. We got to sum that frequency. Again, this could have all been done in a calculator, and this doesn't even matter, if we're being honest. All this work, but hopefully you're getting some practice. So now I want to divide for the average. And I'm intentionally not using the average function. That's a thing, but I'll explain why I'm not in a second. So we wanted to divide 5715 by 50, which would give me 114.3 degrees. The reason why I didn't just use the average function is because if I were to average just this column, I get that. And that's not 114.3. And it's because it's saying that there's only one 306, this equation or this formula. Okay, it's saying there's only one 856, but the 306 came from the fact that there was 3 102s. The 856 came from the fact that there was 8 107. So if I just would have used the average function, I don't think it would have got me what I wanted. So again, if you're kind of confused, if you're looking at our equation from our simple example up here, that sum multiply is just that numerator. And the sum frequency was the fact that there was 50 temperatures. So it'd be where that denominator where the 3 is right there. So then I divided those things together and got 114.3.